petition Board of Regents to speak at their meeting. We were also formally denied today. However, they did make one concession and stated that the SGA president, Austin Clayton, has been given 10 minutes on Tuesday to present to the entire board. I and the other organizers have been working very closely with Austin to find out how we're going to approach that 10 minutes, what we're going to do, who's going to speak, and when they're going to speak. He and I have a meeting later tonight and also again tomorrow afternoon to kind of hammer that out. The focus being, though, either way, we still want to be outside the university system offices on Tuesday. We want to be loud, and we want to make sure that everyone inside that building knows that we're there. Okay. The university system is located right across the street from Trinity United Methodist Church, who has authorized us to congregate on their property. As such, we bypass any and all protest laws that the state has requiring us to get a permit. Getting you guys down there is also not going to be a problem thanks to the SGA. The pilot trolley that runs every Thursday will be running every hour back and forth from campus to the university system offices. That is tentative, but likely going to happen. It is pending formal approval by the rest of the SGA, but doesn't seem to be any resistance so far. As far as the actual protest goes, we cannot be on a public street. We cannot block the sidewalks. What that does mean that as long as we're in a single file line and constantly moving, there's nothing APD or Capitol Police can say to us. Okay? All right? So, it's going to be a picket line, and it's going to go all day. From the time we get down there at 9 o'clock until the time we leave at 3, because we've got the bus from 8 to 4, back and forth the whole day. Obviously, we'll be able to take breaks, go across the street, sit at the church, recover for a little bit, go right back at it, okay? Monday night, I want as many people as possible in here. We're going to have materials to make signs for you guys to hold. We're going to try and get a banner printed. We are in talks with a screen print shop to have t-shirts for everyone outside to be wearing so that everyone looks the same, okay? So, these are the things that we're trying to accomplish for Tuesday. If you have talking points or things that haven't been brought up so far in any of the posts that you've seen, I want them in writing and I need them in an email so that when we sit down to plan our 10 minutes, they can be brought up. Okay? We realize that our chances of actually stopping this on Tuesday are next to nothing. What we do think we can accomplish is getting them to delay the vote so that some meaningful conversations and some actual research on what's going on and how it will affect both campuses can happen. Because so far they've not presented us with any information at all as to why or how they're doing this or what the perceived benefits are going to be. Money has been brought up more than once, but there's only been a less than a 1% change in the budget of the schools that have been affected so far.
The percentages?
There's also been a lot of long-term social implications at the universities that have been combined that so far have not been discussed. I'm going to go ahead and open the floor for any questions anyone has about Tuesday. I'm sorry? No, I thank you for bringing that up. We also have space at the Capitol building lawn first thing in the morning, which is a block away from the university system offices. We can decide as a group tonight if we want to utilize that space or if we just want to use it as a meeting space for people that aren't taking the trolley down there. Does anyone feel that we would maybe be better represented there in the Capitol lawn space, or do you want to stick to the university system offices? I'm open to either one.
Both.
Okay.
They're going to be meeting at the offices there, the university.
Well, most people are going to know about going to the offices.
Granted that we have enough
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to get media coverage in both places regardless.
We do have media coverage in both places already in the works. I think maybe the best plan at this point is to have the trolley drop off at the Capitol building
And we walk all the way down.
and then
to
walk
the
over to
street.
university offices from there.
How far is it?
A
It's a
block and a
block.
half. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
What time is the trolley?
The trolley will leave here at 8 o'clock
Okay.
on Tuesday, the first one. It'll go down on the even hours and come back on the odd hours.
How many people does the trolley hold?
Roughly 40.
40? Okay.
Where does it meet?
Yeah.
We will have it pick up in front of the student center.
That way?
Yeah, the front of the student center, so it's easy out to get on the road. Okay.
Who's in charge of the research right now?
You are. No. No.
I'll do research at night, but I really don't.
Right now, as far as research goes, a lot of the information that we've gathered has been directly submitted by you guys, either through email, through Facebook, or through Twitter. So most of the research is being done by our supporters, and we're taking it all and bringing it together in one place. Keep up that trend. That's what we need. We need people who have 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to look stuff up and find out who to get in contact with. All that stuff has been crowdsourced today.
Because we're all in finals right now, so
Exactly.
everyone has no time.
I just wanted to bring up my dad, knows some of the county commissioners.
Okay.
And some of the people, he used to work at Lockheed, he was one of the engineers there, and he's very upset about this whole thing. So he's been emailing people and calling them, and if he comes up with any information, I will let you guys know.
Excellent.
Forward it on.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah, what's gonna happen with petitions? Someone was telling me that all that stuff was gonna be printed on.
It'll be printed on one very large, long document that I will walk into the big desk in front of the regents in a notebook, make as much noise as I can, and put it on their desk.
There you go. You want some bells?
Yeah, quick, come along to that?
Unfortunately, the boardroom only seats 50 to 100 people at any given time. As far as speaking there, Austin, as well as those that are involved in that, are probably going to limit it to 2 or 3 people.
I would strongly assure to bring one of the alumni. The Alumni Association has.
We actually, Trey Anderson, who's on the board of alumni, on the alumni
That's all.
board, is who we're talking to bring to this.
Question that might not be on the document yet. Is there anything about foreign exchange students on there?
Again, that's part of that non-information that we've been given.
Implementation board.
Correct.
That's
Yes, sir.
Are there any other, what's going on with the alumni right now and folks of industry?
The formal position from the alumni board is that they don't have one and that they're working on one.
They have a meeting every night, just so you know. They have a meeting every.
I can tell you that I know one company that I've been interviewing with for jobs has told me that it's actually a large employer of a lot of the engineers here, that they will not be contributing anymore if this does go through.
And that's the sentiment that we've heard across the board.
The company is Applied Tech.
I sent an email to the entire alumni board on Wednesday, and I received an email back from the alumni relations coordinator here on campus, probably about 4 hours later, that said an official position has not been reached, as well as we are unable or unsure of what resources we can donate to this movement right now. As soon as they know, they'll get in touch with us, and that's been the last contact I've had, going on 36 hours now.
Great.
I talked to someone personally, just talked to them about an hour on the phone.
Yeah. So
And that's what
the
they told me.
individual alumni, from the people we have talked to, are very supportive. But the board itself and the foundation who has the money and the resources has remained quiet.
Wonder why.
What's being done to try to get professors to accommodate the protests?
So faculty members, by and large, they are supportive to the extent that this is going to influence them and affect them in ways that they don't know. However, coming out and being vocal about it could be very dangerous to their careers in the long term. So most of them are willing to excuse absences for classes, offering to help edit speeches, papers, anything that we've been sending out. Even as far as just sitting down and talking to us about different perspectives that we may or may not have thought of yet. I have yet to find a faculty member who's not been at least been willing to do that much. Outside of that, there's not a whole lot they can do because the administration has told them they're not allowed to.
So, we have ethical professors on campus. There is some of the board members that have large connections and lots of sums of money that are tied to KHU.
We know.
Yep.
And they've been contacted about the code of ethics of the DOR, and they can't really vote.
That conversation has been had more than once. And that is one of the things that will likely be brought up Tuesday.
I don't know, let's go to bring it up then. I think I would much rather see them vote, and then that vote can be overturned.
At that point, though, once they voted and we don't have a turn, we have no place to speak.
Well, what I'm saying is that I wouldn't bring it up before, let them vote, because then you can.
We have no recourse at that point because it's a
If they vote and
that's
they-
dangerous.
yeah,
There's no recourse. There's actually no way to reverse the decision by the Board of Regents according to their bylaws. They'd have
No, I
to
wouldn't
go
waste-
vote to
Yeah, but
repeal
I
something they've
think
done.
we're along the laws already.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, but
So
bringing that up to them is also risky.
that's one of those
Yeah,
things
you
that
Well, I've been hearing talk that there's been,
If it's
people
somebody that's
lawyers
not-
have been talking about getting involved with this.
we are
Somebody
in
that's not
contact with several different lawyers who are familiar with the way that the university system works. We feel that the response that the Board of Regents has given us, only giving us 10 minutes, is insufficient time to produce any kind of meaningful conversations between the board and both campuses. And although it may follow the letter of the law, we don't feel that it follows the spirit of the law. And we are actively seeking an injunction to stop the vote.
Yeah.
It's a long shot, and I don't have a whole lot of hope for it, but we're going to keep working on
So there will be somebody from KSU in that meeting as well,
it.
representing?
They were offered 10 minutes. I have not heard anything from KSU's SGA president if they're going to use it or not.
And they offered to us.
You know, have you talked with KSU's SGA at all about any of
Our
this?
SGA has.
Okay.
And
What is their position on?
they're indifferent at best.
I mean, can we just ask them to use that time? If they know what we're saying.
The board won't let us do that. Anytime not used is forfeited.
Why don't we finish off for us and let them finish our first?
That's an option, but finding them is going to be
Hard.
interesting. And then getting the SGA president to okay them speaking is even more interesting. So,
Well, and if we know some people go to them, if they'll let them.
yeah, we all know a whole bunch of people at KSU that are probably for, that are, you know, on our side. But getting the SGA president involved is going to be a lot more difficult. Because he has a president to answer to.
Oh, and this is Tuesday.
And
Correct. So,
Once again, politics.
it is.
Well, I do want to say there was another company, I've been interviewing, so I graduated this semester. I've been interviewing for like as many companies as I can right now as a graduate. And another one came out and said that they won't be doing that. And I'm hoping, he said he was going to make a formal speech about it, so that way, that he came from Southern Colorado.
More news.
I don't want to say anything.
No, I understand.
I'll say it first.
Senator Carter from Decatur has formally announced his bid for governor. Senator Carter is very sympathetic to higher education and feels that the university system has, in his own words, been playing a shell game with the money that they've been given from the state. I have reached out to the senator's office, and I'm waiting to hear back from him about potentially speaking or being at the protest on Tuesday or reaching out to the board himself.
That's one of the people my dad,
Yeah. So,
Awesome.
we are reaching out to people that have
There's like a whole
influence.
list of people.
Well, when
And
did you
there's been a
talk
lot
to
of
him?
positive feedback.
There was one person who they talked
Yeah.
to the governor. Does he not realize that since he appointed these people, that he's direct, like, it doesn't matter whether he can say yes or no to them, he still needs to go talk to them.
Talking about,
Yeah.
I mean, he's ethically.
It's kind of like having the babysitter smack the back of their hand.
Pretty much.
Time to listen up.
Yeah. Governor Deal's office has not returned any of the phone calls that we gave his office today. No one was actually able to make direct contact with the governor. But we left a good 60, 70, 80 messages with his office. So, from different people who were here throughout the phone rally throughout the day.
I got a
So-
quick question.
Sure.
Is there any kind of political association with the Board of Regents? You know? Do they tend to run more Democrat, more Republican?
They, the bulk of them have been appointed by Republican governors. I will leave it at that.
Tonight, my dad's specifically going to a Tea Party meeting to voice his opinion, see if he can get some help from them too. So I'm gonna leave here as soon as I can so I can let him go to the meeting tonight.
Yeah.
Has anybody even thought about it? I mean, I know for one, I would have paid more tuition
That's
to go.
why we done.
Yeah.
The problem is that we only pay about 30% of the school's operating costs
Yeah.
with our tuition. So we would more than have to double our tuition to make up for the boards.
Which is about
Or
what
about doing-
everywhere else is. A
No.
comparable university is
Even Georgia Tech is only about 12% higher than we are.
yeah, well, what
So
I'm
double
saying
our
is,
tuition would be,
but the thing was, is like, the difference between Georgia Tech and here is that like, I feel like professors really care. Like, you go there, they don't ever see.
exactly. I mean, that's the stuff we're focusing on.
Yeah.
Is we're trying to make it not financial because as so many people in the room and so many educators across the country have started to realize that you cannot run a school like a business. You know, yes, you have to keep the bottom line in mind, but when you start sacrificing the needs of the students because of money, you have to find a new way to do things. So, and that's what we think that they're doing, is sacrificing our needs.
Like even at Georgia Southern, which is kind of like, I'm guessing it's.
They're comparable in size to Kennesaw.
It's pretty, yeah. And they, like, I have a ton of friends that go there. I don't have really anybody that goes to Kennesaw. But even they tell me, like, they don't know their professors, they don't go and talk to them, like, ever.
You know, it'd be interesting to get a lot of the foreign students that have come here, you know, from very far away to come here. You know, it'd be great to get their collective input on this, because they chose this small school from very far away, and it says a lot.
That's one of the problems that we've encountered. A lot of international students will lose their visas and have to go through reapplying for them, which can be a 6-month to a year-long process to come here. Because those are school-specific visas.
What's going on about that news that's come about the engineering ABET accreditation? Is that ever going to be brought up or anything?
ABET has thus far endorsed Southern Polytechnic State and have told the departments that are ABET accredited to continue on with the work they're doing. The only accrediting body so far that has had any problems with the merger has been the architecture accrediting body, and they're the ones that have said there could be some long-term impacts on this that we just don't know. And they're keeping a very close eye on the proceedings of the merger to ensure that the program continues to get the highest quality education possible. What that says is, watch what you're doing, and they're not afraid to pull accreditation if things don't go the right way. It
I mean, I
does.
feel like ABET feels the same way almost.
ABET can't come out and say that.
I say, Jay Wood. It's good now.
That's exactly what they said.
Yeah.
Things look good where you are, is exactly what they said on the meeting, because they were here last week.
There's been like stories of the dean of engineering having tears in his eyes or something.
It is because they don't know what's going to happen with their jobs, or their departments, or their budgets. They don't.
Hey,
None.
but they could also reduce the size of this one.
Our
Correct.
department heads could be wiped out.
You know, Kennesaw spends less per student by a long shot than we do.
We don't have the same
So,
content.
That's not a good
What's
thing.
the closest school?
Come on, yeah, no,
to us?
no, no.
It's like Southern Poly, size-wise, and you're.
50 to 100.
Yeah, there's not. That's the whole
We need-
point.
I'd like to put a,
yeah,
get all
as
the
a-
stats
as
and
a
numbers of public
comprehensive
students.
engineering
class size.
university, there's not. They're either a lot bigger or a lot smaller.
We're a lot further away.
Yeah.
I'd
We're
like
the
to
only one in
get
the
a
southeast
stat
for
on
sure.
that.
You could theoretically compare us to, you know, MIT or Rutgers, but even then, they're a lot bigger.
You don't know, so.
I'd say
I'd love to
the
get
closest
a
thing
good
from
breakdown of
where
all
I'm
the
from-
colleges that offer universities in the entire southeast, and what they offer compared to what we do now.
From where I'm at, and where I grew from in the Northeast and the Philadelphia region, the closest thing that we've been close to is Silver School.
Right. Caltech, something like that, but even that, they're gonna be bigger. Yes.
Another question that might have not been asked yet, might want to be added to the document is why,
Yeah,
why not
no.
like,
Right, well, life's private. But those are the kind of questions that you can email us and post on the Facebook, because those are the kind of things that we're gonna be sitting down.
Even
Every
in the
single-
Highlands, they're trying to push it before years,
Right.
and Gainesville State was
Right.
pushed to North Georgia for 4 years.
Exactly. So that's the other thing that we really haven't looked at, that we've heard some support from the Highland students, is that what's going to happen to this campus. If we get merged with Kennesaw, there's a chance that they're going to lose their Merida campus. And for a lot of students, this is the most convenient access to education that they have.
Another one that we're looking at is not ready.
Right.
I mean, it'll be like a satellite on a satellite.
Right.
So,
So
Kennesaw State may not allow for Highlands to be here. I don't know.
there won't be room.
Yeah, I don't think they would. I think because it would be easier on them to just get rid of Brookline.
Yeah, because that'll open up this campus to 24,000 more bodies. So,
Yeah,
You
same,
talking about
same,
us going over there, it's gonna be them coming here for their class.
the same class size.
We're less active now.
oh, yeah.
I can tell you this much, the way that they had the computer department set up and everything
They're
is 10
spread
times
out.
better here than it is over there. Which is one of the main reasons why I didn't choose that school.
And that's the general sentiment for every major that is duplicated, is that the way we do it suits our students' needs. We are a different kind of student. You know, we tend to be non-traditional learners. We're not the 17-year-olds fresh out of high school for the most part. You know, we're just not. And so yes, we have a large population that does, but we have a larger population that doesn't. So.
I've heard KSU has issues registering for classes, because one of the girls that I do know from KSU, she was on early registration, and apparently either today or yesterday was the 3rd day of registration, and she could not get into 3 of the classes that she needed. She only got into 1 class, and that's it. Like, we might have that problem every now and then, but you can always find another class. Like, she literally can find no others that are open. So I'm like, that's already a problem. We're adding us to them. So how much more of a problem is that going to be?
And those are all questions that the board has been unable to answer. So
And that's a huge problem.
I kind of want to focus this back more on Tuesday. A lot of the questions that we're getting are long-term questions that we aren't going to have answers on. So
We have to vote it in to see what's in it. God, we're not doing that before.
we will not. However, the questions that you ask will be the ones that I take to Austin to include in our 10 minutes.
Well, that's, I mean, not us. I mean,
Yeah.
will they, like, let's say if he asked a question, will we be
Right.
able to tell him?
They'll
Maybe.
tell them the same thing the president told us.
I mean, 10 minutes, what are they gonna
We
talk
have no
about?
idea
the
what their
rest of
responses are going to be. None.
We don't have anything
Hard to
figured out.
lose that answer.
It is.
Do
you know how Austin is gonna lay out his, is he gonna be asking questions about how to protect us, or is he gonna be asking how we can either stop this from happening or delay it?
Austin, as well as myself, 1 or 2 faculty members, and representatives from the alumni are all going to meet tomorrow to hash out how exactly we're going to take our 10 minutes. That has not yet been decided.
Okay, you said our ultimate goal is to delay the vote. What actions in the body of the Board of Regents is going to cause that? Are the region members supposed to vote to delay it, or how does this occur?
Essentially, what will happen is that the person responsible for the agenda will decide or not decide that a vote is ready to happen or not. Someone from the Board of Regents can make a motion to delay the vote, and that could be any one of the 19 regents. Or if not, then it will come to a vote.
Does it have to be unanimous or just majority?
That I don't know. I do believe it is a 51%. It may be a 66, I'm not sure.
So, do we know any Board of Regent members that are more favorable towards us at this point?
Not a Dean Alford is receptive to comments, and he has definitely been supportive of our efforts, if not their goal. Does that make sense? He supports what we're doing, maybe not why. Yes, sir.
I've heard that they were supposed to give us like 15 days.
Okay, so the way the bylaws for the university system are written, to be added to the agenda, you have to appeal for a position 15 days before the agenda is posted. Unfortunately, the announcement was only made 12 days before the next meeting where we're supposed to be on the agenda. That's where that formal petition yesterday came in, to where we requested that 15-day exemption be lifted. And the response that we got was, no, we're not adding anyone else except SGA to the agenda. Any other questions?
What reasons have they voiced for the merger?
None.
Saving money, and because we're close to each other.
Oh, and they'll complement each other.
Yeah, and that our programs complement each other.
But, so, I mean, they didn't offer anything as far as, like our numbers or.
No, there's been those studies haven't even been done, let alone present us with the results.
They
Those studies
cited
haven't been
percentages
done.
of students on Hope as their one hard set of numbers as to why they should do this.
And what was that statistic
It's like
about?
68% on our campus, 63% on their campus are on Hope, therefore they should do this.
So then doesn't it?
What is that?
That's what I fucking
That's
said.
why, I mean.
Tab, they just like, what does that mean?
Where did you come up with this? That's what the president said.
Pap said that?
Yeah.
Oh.
I can't make up shit like this.
Does anybody remember which region it was stated they had no documentation or anything about the merger? Does anybody remember that?
I thought I was Alfred.
What's that?
I think it was Alfred.
What?
He claimed to not have any documentation pertaining to the merger
I
whatsoever.
remember when this was.
Freedom of Information Act request.
We do too. We actually have the article that the Marietta Daily Journal wrote with an interview with Dr. Rossbacher, who listed out her points as to why this was not going to happen. So,
Do we have that anywhere? I'd like to see that.
It's floating around the archive somewhere. We do have a copy. I don't have it readily accessible, but it can be found on MDJ's website.
As to why the merger won't happen.
Correct.
This was like the last year.
Yeah.
If you can't find it, I want to see that.
So is that why they were able, because obviously they decided on a reason why it wouldn't happen, and they left her out of the dark because they knew she was
I believe that she was not informed until 10 days before the announcement that this was going to happen. I barred two things. So.
I showed him what you sent me.
What time Monday?
7 o'clock.
Say something about it.
Right?
At night or morning?
7 p.m. I moved it a little bit later, just to hopefully include more students who have classes until 6:30.
Yeah.
Tuesday, first bus leaves at 8 o'clock. 8 a.m.
When are we leaving?
on Tuesday.
I want to leave like early, get set up at the church. Some
We
people
will
are
have
there.
students,
The minute they step off that bus, they're kicked in.
All right,
Yes,
so
so long
we
as you
driving
are
or we
carrying
taking
them
a
and
trip?
not obstructing the flow of
That should leave
traffic.
at 8 though. I want to leave an hour or two before we get set up, get our signs
No
up there,
sticks
light
on
them
the
up.
Capitol lawn in the ground.
No, like in your hand.
Okay, we'll have to look at that.
What is the Charlie?
That may change.
I mean, when does our Charlie?
Yes.
Four.
We're working on that.
In the church.
Yeah, the church is probably gonna be our best bet there.
No,
I was just verifying logistically. So we've got the church, and then we've got the offices right across the street, right?
And then a block away, we've got.
Well, the church is directly across the street from the offices.
Okay.
And then the opposite direction, a block and a half away, is the Capitol building.
Okay, great.
So we need a team at the Capitol building, but we need our strongest showing across the street from the.
We're gonna be focusing on getting them to stop and do the study for a little while.
You're really well with the
This is not gonna be a vent session at all. It's gonna be true rhetorical. This is the information that anyone would need to make this decision, make an educated decision on doing this.
Anybody gets.
I'll put in my.